I'm Corbin Hostler, and this is Mono Black Vampire slash Zombies. We're calling it Zombies, but as you can see, we actually have some vampires in our deck as well. But I don't know what our opponent's doing. Let on a Sunken Hollow here. But our hand seems pretty sweet, actually. Okay, he's just playing interesting. So it's Esper Control, hmm. but with BFZ duels instead of Shocklands. Which in some cases can be a lot better. In some cases it can be worse. So what the thoughtseize here? I'm sort of inclined to just take Serum Visions and mess up his plans for the rest of the game. I'm not going to care about the negate much. The Logic Knot, he's a little ways off from casting. I mean, we could just take the Cryptic, because that's his best long-term card. But our deck is actually pretty decent against Cryptic. We're just going to take the Serum Visions. We're just going to slow him down as much as possible, because our hand actually has good stuff in it. Now, these removal spells are going to be kind of dead, which is, a little unfortunate, but that's not the worst draw. So we'll go ahead and lead with the Aetherborn here. Make sure we have black up when we play this so that we can always get it back. Alright, so he's got Logic Knot for 1 up here. Yeah, that's not a good draw. Well, let's go ahead and get in there. Yeah, this matchup, I mean, I think we have good cards in it, but I also think that drawing 3 of our 7 removal spells when he's playing this control deck might not work out as well as we might like it to. Let's go ahead and do it this way. Alright, get Relentless in there. This plays around Logic Knot. Interestingly, he could Logic Knot it just to be able to kill it, but he's not going to, so now if it dies, we can get it back. He's played the 3 lands we knew about, not anything else, so this is what we see in his hand here. Alright, he found a plane, so he actually can't cast Cryptic Command yet. Alright, well, we've drawn really poorly for the matchup. But we'll see what we can do here. He can activate this thing, and actually I hope he does. It'll give me a target for our Fatal Push. Yeah, unsurprisingly, he chooses just to take the damage, but we just have to pass. Yeah, just Urborg's actually not going to do anything at all, so... not ideal for us, although we are beating him down a little, and we can start swinging with the Mutavault next turn as well. I mean, Negate and Logic Knot aren't doing much. We don't know what else he's drawn, but we know he can't cast his Cryptic. Doesn't seem to have another land either. Alright, well, whatever. Let's go for it. Let's see what we can do here. The dream is him going in on the Shambling Vamp. That seems very unlikely. Then again, depending, if he doesn't have much else, he might not have a better choice. He needs another blue for the Cryptic Command. Alright, wow, he's doing it. Okay. Sort of a gift for us. Would like to Fatal Push that thing. Well, this is pretty nice. I don't know exactly what our opponent's got going on, but I know that I'm pretty happy to have that sequence transpire. Now, if he doesn't find another blue source, he still can't Cryptic. Well, there it is. Okay, so he shocked himself down to 6. He's going to have to Cryptic our attack step here, so I'm going to do my best to play around. So the way this works... Alright, we move to combat. Now, if he chooses to we don't activate Mutavault. So if he chooses to Cryptic Command to tap down our team, then we will receive priority back and we'll be able to activate Mutavault. If we had just, and then swing with it. If we had just activated Mutavault to begin with, then this Cryptic would also have tapped it. However, see, now we're still in the beginning of combat. We can activate our Cryptic and get in for 2 damage. Tricky pickup playing when you play Merfolk as much as I do, but very, very relevant in Modern. So this allows us to keep the pressure up. I might pop this Bloodstained Mire just to have 1 less land in our deck. Our life is not particularly relevant here, and we have this to trigger landfall if we get a Bloodcast or whatever. So there's not much downside in this. Certainly don't think this game's going to be decided by 2 life or 1 life, so. Alright, that's not a bad draw. Okay, so now we actually have lethal, so I'm not going to activate the Mutavault in case he has another Cryptic. If he has another Cryptic, this makes him use it, and we still get in for 2 damage. And if he does not have the Cryptic, then it's still lethal, and he has to have removal. So this plays around. This is the line that, you know, obviously if he had removal and not Cryptic, activating Mutavault could be the difference between killing him or not. But this is the line that plays around the most. Okay, now he's figured it out. He's going to bounce our Mutavault and tap our team. Sure. We'll get out of combat here. Alright, replay that. I guess we go ahead and play the Crypt Breaker. It's pretty nice one to resolve, actually, because now if our Relentless Dead dies, it gets to bring back the Crypt Breaker as well. Makes any sort of non Path to Exile removal very, very bad for our opponent. And if whatever his defense he tries to mount is creature-based, we're set as well. Okay, let's try the same thing. How many Cryptics does he have? Can't Snapcaster Cryptic. This is where Zombies sort of excels. You get underneath the control player and you make his Wrath bad because Relentless Dead makes Wrath very bad. He does have another Cryptic, and he's going to run the same. Oh, he's going to draw this time. He's going to let us get in for damage. Okay. I guess I could have discarded a card to make a zombie, but it doesn't seem super relevant. I honestly feel like we'd be doing more just to throw zombies out of our hand than anything else. Now, playing this Crypt Breaker might be a mistake, but I'm leaning on the fact we have the Relentless Dead. I guess he could go Path into Wrath, which would be pretty bad for us, so maybe I should have held it. Yeah, maybe I should have held this one back. Although Path into Wrath also taps him out and leaves Undead to our Mutavault, so, you know, that doesn't actually work very well for him. Alright, well, let's try this Gambit again. So you have Cryptic number 4? And this time I actually have 3 zombies to tap to draw a card if he does have Cryptic number 4. Which he does. Alright. Sure, why not? Gravecrawler, okay. Oh, replay our Mutavault here. Not sure if there's a benefit to playing the Gravecrawler or not. And there's probably not. Alright, well, we know he can't Cryptic Command us again. So, I'd like to think that we're going to get through this next time. He's still dead if he just has Wrath and doesn't have another removal spell. But he's drawing a lot of cards. All 4 Cryptics, huh? Okay, I guess we got there. 4 Cryptic Commands, no problem. What do we want here, though? I think this is where Lashwrath actually would excel because, you know, it turns everything into a threat. Kalitas doesn't seem great. Grey Merchant doesn't seem great either, but I'll keep it as sort of a finisher. The Aetherborns don't seem insane. More Brutalities seem good. We have a lot of recursive threats now. Yeah, we have a lot of dead removal here, too. Maybe I'll cut a Dismember. I assume there's going to be Snapcasters involved. So we'll actually just cut a bunch of removal. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think this is an okay setup here. I don't think we want the Ghost Quarters. You know, those are basically just for your Escape Shift or whatever other deck. You know, Death Shadow maybe. Oh, well, this is a keep. Talk about recursion. 5 threats, all of them are recursive. Pretty good, I would say. We'll keep this one. Our opponent's on a Mold of 6 here. Definitely good start for us. So basically, as long as we draw a third land, I feel very good about what we're looking at here. Okay, make that recursive threat number 6. Yeah, he's going to be hard pressed. He needs like Grafdigger's Cage or something here. But he probably has Snapcaster, so Cage wouldn't even be good for him. I guess that's what this deck has going for it. You look at it and say, man, these are cool cards, but some of them feel kind of underpowered. But you know what? When all 6 of your cards are wow. When all 6 of your threats are recursion threats. All right, we can take this stop off. And we can actually punish his counterspell pretty hard here by just playing Gravecrawler or Bloodghast even. We can play the Gravecrawler. And if he mana leaks it, which yeah, obviously he's not going to bother to, we would just be able to replay it. Yeah, Gravecrawler and Bloodghast make a lot of spells very bad. I think proactive decks are what our deck's gonna have a hard time with. Reactive decks like Control here, we just present threats they have a very difficult time answering. But when they're trying to kill us, I'm not sure how much we have to compete with that. Just gonna beat him down right here though. Yep, down to 12. And now we get to play Bloodghast. What are you gonna do? Counter this one? It's kind of nuts actually. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so 6 power in play. He shocked himself on turn 2, probably because he's sitting on Mana Leak or whatever, and it just doesn't do anything. No, I think maybe he should have, if that is what it was, and he's not doing anything on ends up here, maybe he should have Mana Leaked the Bloodghast, just in the hopes we didn't have a land to bring it back, to stem the bleeding a little bit. But even if he untaps into Wrath here, we're just gonna untap, play Relentless Dead, play land, have back all of our threats. Alright, let's see what he's up to. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Truly annoying, as a matter of fact. Okay, well. Guess we try to get in 4 at a time. Well, good news is Drolf's Messenger can provide a little bit of reach if we get to it. Bad news is that Ghostly Prison's very good against us. Yep, there's a Fatal Push. Well, we're only getting in for 2 this time around. Ghostly Prison is such a good card in Modern in the right deck. I think it's underplayed, actually. It's so good against just decks that want to turn guys sideways. You gonna shock himself again? That would be great. Nope. Okay, well, we're gonna do what we can 4 at a time here. The good news is he can't really rely, run us out of threats. Path only helps us attack more. You would have these Mutavaults for later. 4 mana. He's gonna play Verdict. Sure. I'm going to take this opportunity to resolve Drolf's Messenger. And yeah, let's get that Bloodghast back, which has haste, which we will actually be able to attack with even. So that is pretty nice. Alright, so we'll play Messenger. This is a good one because it makes all of his other Wraths worse. Knock him down to 5. Okay, well, and we have lethal on the board next turn, and the mana to do it. So, and we drew another Messenger, which is obviously great for us. So, I like where we're at here. We even have a. Ooh, okay. We even have a decent amount of live draws in the form of something like Collective Brutality to drain him, of all things. Now he could just path our messenger. That'd be pretty bad. Snapcaster, Fatal Push. Okay. That's fine. This doesn't feel like a winning. This is a stall tactic and nothing else for him here. So he can push our Bloodghast, Snapcaster, block our messenger. No matter how you look at that, that's not exactly what he wants to be doing. Gotta put him down to 3. Yep. Undie on back, buddy. Great. Alright. Opponent is down to 3 life. We don't have land to bring back Bloodghast, but we do just have the ability to cast this Gravecrawler out of our graveyard. And that works just as well, I'd say. Alright, so again, we're looking at... well, it's not lethal through 2, but he's down to just 2 cards in hand also. And we have another messenger. So if we get one through, he's dead in a turn or 2. He might have another Wrath here. Esper Charm to draw 2. Oh, that's a bad sign for him. That's a real bad sign. He needs like Snapcaster Path or something here. Snapcaster to trade with a Gravecrawler, I guess. Yeah, don't envy his position. Wonder if I actually should have. Well, it doesn't really matter. Say maybe I actually should have cast a Gravecrawler pre-combat there in case he does get rid of both of our zombies. But just playing Crypt Breaker is probably fine. Yep, Blessed Alliances. At least he couldn't escalate it. In fact, it's real bad for him because he still takes 1,000,000. Down to 1. Okay, we'll play out a Crypt Breaker. Just because if he has Cryptic or whatever next turn, we can at least draw a card that way. All we need to do is either get an attack through or resolve a messenger and we'll win. Alright, so best way to go about it against his 3 cards in hand. Guess we move to combat first and see if he Cryptics us. He does not. So I guess I attack with these 2. Yeah, this is fine. Well, no, if he has a Blessed Alliance, I guess it's better to swing with this thing. Okay, well, we'll pay for it and see what he has here. Snapcaster Blessed Alliance would be pretty decent for him, I guess. Fives at Sphinx's. Ooh. Wow, okay, Torrential Gear Hulk. Interesting. That's not bad. That's pretty sweet. He actually gets to go up to 5 here. And then block our messenger and take 2 and go to 3. Okay. Very interesting. Or he could make me sacrifice an attacking creature in the attack step and then block the other one. He needs the life, though. At least I think he does. Yeah. Drawing a 6th land would be very good for us. I am very glad that I did not choose to attack with a Crypt Breaker there. So this way we get damage in. Alright, other Gravecrawler's back. 3 is not 2, which means we can't just play Messenger and win, unfortunately. And Fatal Push doesn't do anything against Gear Hulk. I wonder if I was supposed to Fatal Push a Snapcaster earlier. I don't even remember if we had it in hand then or not. He's still really hard pressed, and now he can't flash back his... And we just draw land and we're in great shape like that, so... Now we can get in there with everything. Everything in this case being Bloodghast and 2 Gravecrawlers. Still giving us the ability to draw if he has Cryptic. Which it looks like he might. Alright, well he's trying to hold on in there. Black mana, huh? This Ghostly Prison just makes us play a completely different game, but he's under so much pressure that I don't know if it's a game he really wants to play. Ghostly Prison's keeping him alive here where basically nothing else would, but oh no, okay. If he's Think Twice in there, he's basically on the Snapcaster or die or Cryptic or Die plan. Alright, well, go ahead and declare them all. See what happens. Yep, black. So we're fatal pushing recursive threats again. Yep. Alright, Bloodghast down. Block 1, go to 1. Yep. What seemed to be his plan. Okay, got him to 1 life. 2 lethal threats on board, plus a messenger. He's down to 2 cards in hand. Alternatively, we just keep drawing out his resources and keeping his life total under pressure to where we can just play our, just be able to safely resolve our messenger and win. That's a good draw also. Actually, it's a great draw. Now we can pay 6 to get him with all 3 of these, all of which represent lethal. And we can even fetch to get back Bloodghast, should that become needed. Alright, let's see what he's got this time around. Is this where he actually gets to escalate a Blessed Alliance? Oh, it's another Gear Hulk. My gosh. Okay, well he's down to 1 card in hand. And this is not so bad. I mean, this is just him, surviving, which is whatever. I guess the bad news is we're actually not going to have any zombies here. So I'll just play this other Crypt Breaker in my second main phase. I'm playing this game pretty patiently rather than just slamming the messenger here. Because, I don't want to die to Cryptic. I don't want him to have Cryptic Command and be able to counter. Like, we just keep the game going like this. He still has a lot of things, a lot of pressure he has to deal with. And eventually we'll be able to safely resolve it. Whether that's by having enough mana that we can still attack after he's forced to tap out in combat, or because he just plays the cards out of his hand. So we're playing slow, but it's fine. And we still have lots of good draws. We could just draw a second messenger, which might lead me to go for it. We could draw Collective Brutality and try to drain him. Okay, this is a nice draw also. So we have a couple things we can do here. I could activate Mutavault. I could play land, activate Mutavault, swing for 6. Which would be lethal. But then I'm forced to burn my land. Alternatively, I could do not. I could try the. Yeah, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try the messenger this time, and if it works, it works. And if not, we'll be able to, for sure, resolve a well, maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I play Relentless Dead. I could play Relentless Dead and then try the messenger. I could just play Grave Crawlers out of my graveyard. That seems like it might be better. Alright, so we're going to play Relentless Dead. Then we're going to play 2 Grave Crawlers. And yes, I'm aware that I could just slam this messenger and probably win. I mean, he probably doesn't have a counterspell for it, given that this just resolved. But I'm trying to play this safe. We're just going to overload the board with lethal threats here. Oh, he might counter this. Okay, he did not. All right. So we're just going to fill the board with lethal threats. Play our land here. So then, on our next turn, so if, yeah, this is real good for us. We can do a bunch of stuff here. We can Crypt Breaker to draw a card and then draw 3. and then tap 3 to draw another. Alright, well his last card was an Esper Charm. I guess that's fine. Alright, so we're going to get access to a lot of stuff. We have a bunch of lethal attackers next turn. We have, if he kills our Relentless Ed, which is something he's going to have to do, we can just buy back our other messenger with it. So this is actually, maybe I should have taken the line a little earlier. I don't know. We just kept having lethal attacks, so I think continually putting him on that back foot where he had to immediately have an answer is actually fine. And now we're just going to discard this fatal push, and now making a zombie doesn't matter. We're just going to draw a card off of it. But he also just might be dead because we have a bunch of lethal attackers. He needs Cryptic. And we're getting to where we have enough mana. Ashiok, huh? Okay. So that's not great for him. 3 cards have entered our zone. So you guys can't see, there's an Ashiok over here with 5 counters on it now. There's a Gifted Aetherborn underneath it. Alright, we're going to draw a card off of our Crypt Breaker here. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand, an Ashiok up in the top right with 5 counters as well as a Ghostly Prison up there. Us Shrine of Land is pretty good also, I think. Alright, well. 6, 8. So I can swing with 4, make him have 2. So he has to have Cryptic here. Or are they swinging with, or like Snapcaster? Do I go with everything? Sure. Alright, let's make him have 2 answers. Or like 1 Blessed Alliance or whatever. He's going to Ghost Quarter his own Delta, okay. Don't know exactly what that does. Because he seems to have the mana. He had 3 blue to Cryptic. He gets a Swamp, huh? Okay, so he needs a Fatal Push something. He's going to Fatal Push our Bloodghast, sure. Now he still needs another answer with his final card in hand. His final card is a Path. Okay. I would like to use... Oh, he sequenced that way wrong. We get our Bloodghast back. I guess to be fair, we were going to get it back anyways, but he didn't know that. Alright, well now he can kill both those. Okay, so now we know he has 0 cards in hand. So we can just play our... We'll probably just play the Messenger next turn. Yeah, let's get back a Gravecrawler. Okay. I think we're there, because we now have 10 mana, so we can pay 6 to attack, and if he does spend his last card as an answer, we can play our Messenger and win. And I am aware of all the times we could have played Messenger and won already, but we don't... I'm not doing this to slow roll or anything. It's, you know, our guaranteed way to... Sort of our best... Oh my gosh, that means he's got Cryptic. If he's attacking, he's got Cryptic, which means he's dead. Our best way to win is to resolve a Messenger, and the only way I think we can really lose the game is to just jam a Messenger earlier and him have a Cryptic or whatever, and then climb back into the game. Oh, he gets back a Gifted Aetherborn. Okay, sure. I'll just Fatal Push that thing. So now we'll still have 7/9, so we'll have exactly enough mana. Yeah, I don't know if that was his plan, was to just have that to hang on. But now we get to see what his last card in hand is, and then we probably get a win. I played this game longer than maybe it necessarily needed to, but it was safer. And when you're in a winning position like we were basically this entire game because of how fast we got out of the gates, it's more important to think about how we lose the game than it is to just say, I can win by doing this. Because if then your way to win doesn't work, you know, that you get punished and now you sort of, you had this trump card and you never played it. You played it when it did and it backfired, right? So by looking at this game of how can we lose, we can lose by all of these lethal attacks continually missing, as happened, and then him to and then we just instead of attacking with lethal one turn, we just play messenger and he gets cryptic, and then he draws verdict or paths or snapcaster paths or what have you, and he climbs back into it or blessed alliances for a million life, etc. So what we did is took the safest route possible, and now I think it's going to pay off. He needs some something very good here because he can block one. Basically, he needs cryptic command to tap our team, but I mean he'll cryptic draw, but then that last card has to be a counter, another counter on top of that. He's done a great job hanging in there, though. Ghostly Prison have been MVP for him, but I'd like to think that we're getting there here. Okay, here we go. It is a cryptic. Bounce a Mutavault, sure. So we win. Yep. So as you can see there, he needed to see, and it worked perfectly. It's exactly because we had two Mutavaults, and he made that attack, which is maybe this attack was a little greedy because he could have drawn a card with the Mutavault and not been dead to this, but he didn't do that. So he had to bounce the Mutavault so that we couldn't kill him with damage, and now he has no cards in hand. We get a Resolve Messenger and win. So it was an interesting game, and it's one of those. Oh, he can flashback, think twice. He can. He can't do anything with it, but he can flashback and think twice. Pact to Negation. If the card he drew was Pact to Negation, that would be so good. All right, GG's, man. That was a really interesting game, and I hope that was I hope people watching at home were able to take something out of that second game in particular because it comes up a lot when you're playing, not aggro decks necessarily, but aggro decks or mid-range decks that are more aggressively bent, that sort of thing. It's the same situation that comes up a lot with Merfolk for me, where it's, do I go all in on putting creatures on my board, or do I play around removal spells, even if it may make the game go a turn longer or maybe 2 turns longer, but it allows for me to play around the most. That's usually the line I take, and that's how you get more percentages out of decks like this, than or Merfolk or elves or that sort of thing, right? Than you would if you're just sort of jamming things. So, nice match. Zombies gets there.